Hey everyone, here's my review for Heavy Rain on the PlayStation 3.
The body of Jeremy Bowles was found this morning on a patch of wasteland in the East End at about 6:30 a.m.
Developer Quantic Dream did a great job of making an emotional and gut-wrenching story that is probably the best I've seen in a long time. The story of Heavy Rain revolves around four main characters: Madison Paige, Scott Shelby, Norman Jayden, and Ethan Mars. Norman Jayden is an FBI profiler who, with the help of his technologically advanced glasses Ari, tries to find the Origami Killer, a serial killer who drowns his victims in rainwater and leaves an origami figure in their hand and an orchid on their chest. Basically what Ari does is help Norman find clues that are very difficult to find with the naked eye, like blood stains, fingerprints, and tire tracks. Along with you in your investigation is a man named Blake, who is pretty much an ultra douche, willing to do anything to get answers out of someone. As Ethan Mars, you play as a loving father who loves his two sons, Jason and Sean. On Jason's 10th birthday, he's killed at a mall. Ethan, blames himself for his son's death, dives into depression as his wife divorces him. Now this pretty much sucks, right? Well, it gets worse. At a normal day at the park, Ethan's other son, Sean, gets abducted when Ethan blacks out, leaving him confused and scared. When he discovers that the Origami Killer took him, Ethan is led on a search for his son before he drowns. Ethan has to go through 5 trials, reminiscent to the Saw movies, to see how much he loves his son and what he would do to get him back. Madison Paige is a journalist who happens to stumble upon Ethan as she gets mixed up with the Ethan-Sean drowning ordeal. Scott Shelby is an ex-cop, now private eye, who is now, like Jayden, investigating the Origami murders. Ethan's story is the most emotional and gripping and really asks you the question, what would you do to save someone you love? The game is similar to Quantic Dream's previous title, Fahrenheit, aka Indigo Prophecy, in terms of the interactive genre. The game is driven by its plot and it shows. The emotional ties that will develop between you and your characters is very strong, and you'll hate to see them die. If they do, of course, which brings me to another thing. There is no game over screen, no replaying since last checkpoint. If the main character dies, they die, that's it. The story adapts to it, actually. The story could kind of wrap around the death. That is one very unique feature of the game that I am glad they added. It just brings more emotional sensation to the game that you rarely experience anymore in video games. Heavy Rain's graphics are great. The game starts out very bright and colorful, but as you get further into the game, they get dark and moody. The moody graphics are accompanied by great lighting and texture effects. The game is backed up by the PhysX engine that gives each player realistic movements and gestures. The frame rate seemed to hold up well throughout the game, but I did experience a lot of texture popping. Though these are still just minor gripes that really don't affect the game much at all. It really is great to see every detail on someone's face and body, freckles and pores alike. The character animations are terrific, but still, some mouth movements can be off-sync sometimes, and sometimes it just looks unnatural. The graphics are amazing, and they are some of the best I've seen on the PS3. This game is mostly made up of quick-time events that are usually made up of analog sticks, triggers, and square, triangle, circle, and X buttons. To walk, you hold R2 and use right stick to change directions. The control scheme can be hard for some newcomers to the PS3 because you have to know the controller pretty well in order to play the game. Now this game gets pretty intense. There are numerous quick-time fights that you will encounter that, when I played it, had me on the edge of my seat and my pulse racing. Also in one mission, you're forced to cut off your finger, where I winced a little. Like mentioned before, Norman Jayden has Ari, really cool sunglasses that help you with clues. Also, when you're in your workspace, put them on and you can change your environment virtually, ranging from the forest, the ocean, Mars, and atop a beautiful mystical mountain place. My only complaint about the gameplay is that sometimes when you walk with your character, it won't go where you want to go, leaving you frustrated. These unique gameplay mechanics are a welcome addition to the new generation, and I feel other games should learn from Heavy Rain.
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. I've got nothing to do with that business. I never killed nobody.
Checked out his
The
statement.
sound design in this
He has an
game
alibi
is
for at least 3 of the
terrific.
murders.
Many ambient noises like rain patter and police
that
chatter
bastard was
really
a
fit the
perfect
dark
fit.
mood that the game possesses. Voice acting is generally great, but since the actors are not American and are using American accents, so every once in a while you'll hear their accent slip. Especially
Ash?
when they say the word anything. They really say anything.
Okay.
That is very minor, and really won't affect the sound,
Sean wants his mother
sound design
here.
at all. The
Should
original
like to
score
speak
that
with you.
accompanies the game is an amazing string and brass orchestra that plays booming melodies on fights and soft piano
few
on
months
emotional
back.
and soft parts.
The middle of the night.
Without the score, the game wouldn't have the same
was
effect on
pouring
you.
down.
It really fits the mood, and I believe this game
Ethan
should be
came home
nominated for Best
completely
Original
drenched
Score
at about 3.
later this
I
year.
asked him where he'd been. He spoke about drowning the rain. He didn't make any sense.
Since Heavy Rain is a single-player only game and no online play, you'd think that you'd play through it once or twice and be done with it. Wrong. There are so many choices in the game that you can make, you will be tempted to do them all. There are also 4 different endings in the game you can find. Also coming soon, there will be DLC for the game. So all in all, Heavy Rain is a unique and amazing game that if you are a PlayStation 3 owner, you will regret never playing this.